For over 15 years, my lakefront cabin in the foothills of Oregon had been my sanctuary. Built by my grandfather in the late 60s, it was a modest, cedar-shingled getaway nestled among pines, perched just 50 feet from the water. I inherited it after his passing and maintained it religiously. It was quiet, beautiful, and for the longest time completely free of drama. Then the HOA arrived. It started innocently enough. A luxury housing development cropped up on the opposite side of the lake about 5 years ago. Big houses, fancy cars, people who thought rustic charm meant paying someone else to stain their decks. They formed a homeowners association and began slowly expanding their perceived reach. At first, it was about lake-wide cleanup coordination. Then, it was shared dock management. Eventually, they decided to rename the lake and install a private clubhouse near the shore, on land they didn't own. Their so-called clubhouse was built on a slice of land that had always been part of my grandfather's property. I knew it, my surveyor knew it, and the original property deed knew it. But the HOA? They insisted it was community land, based on some convoluted plat map interpretation from a recent county rezoning plan. I tried reasoning with them. I brought documentation. I had my lawyer send letters. Their lawyer responded with thinly veiled threats, claiming I was violating their covenants and would be subject to removal from the lakefront for non-compliance. The kicker? I wasn't even part of their HOA, never signed up, never agreed to it. They assumed since I was adjacent, I had no choice but to join. They issued a formal notice of violation. Failure to adhere to architectural standards, my red-painted boathouse, built in 1981, apparently clashed with their earth tones only rule, and unauthorized signage, a small private property marker at the end of my dock. They claimed these violations gave them the right to levy fines and restrict access to shared resources, including, get this, the lake itself. That was the last straw. I hired a land use attorney and a local real estate survey firm. We dug into records all the way back to the 1930s. Not only was their clubhouse sitting squarely on my land, but a small access road they built to it crossed another strip of my property. Legally, it was trespassing, plain and simple. I gave them one final notice: remove the structure or I would. They laughed, literally sent me a letter back saying my claims were outlandish and unenforceable. So I enforced them. On a clear Thursday morning, a flatbed truck, a backhoe, and 3 contractors arrived at my cabin. By noon, the clubhouse, an overbuilt monstrosity with cedar beams and granite countertops, was dismantled and hauled off in pieces. The access road, blocked with a gate and a cheerful private property. No trespassing sign. They called the sheriff. He came out, looked over my deeds, my survey, and the dated photos of the land from the 1990s, and simply said, "Looks like it was yours to remove." The HOA erupted in chaos. I was called vindictive, unneighborly, and my personal favorite, a danger to community cohesion. But within 2 weeks, their attorney quietly withdrew all claims. Their fines vanished. Their emails stopped. Now, the land where the clubhouse once stood is wild again. Just tall grass and a few scattered stones. The lake is quiet like it used to be. I sit on my red boathouse deck, drink my morning coffee, and smile every time I look at that empty patch of earth. You don't mess with a man on his own land.